Have you ever had the experience where you were making so much change in your life, so much progress, and before you know it, you did something to almost sabotage yourself to not keep that momentum going? What I'm going to do today is explain exactly what that is from an energetic and biological standpoint, and more importantly, how we begin to shatter our upper limits. All right, so what is this self-sabotage that comes up for so many people? And I know that might be a phrase that might not resonate with every single person, but I want to kind of break it down. There is a book out there called The Big Leap. Dr. Monica and I read this book about 5 or 6 years ago, and what I'll share with you is it was an absolute game changer for us. Essentially, Gay Hendricks, who wrote this book, talked about the many different ways that fears and our insecurities and our limiting beliefs tend to creep up during certain time frames of our life. And usually it happens when we're making big strides and big changes, whether that's losing a bunch of weight, whether that's starting to eat healthier, going to the gym more, maybe we're getting a promotion or a potential to get promotion. And what will happen is we tend to self-destruct. We tend to kind of, do something that hurts our chances. I mean, you've probably heard of people, or maybe you've even had a relationship yourself where, you go on a couple dates, things are going really well. I really like this guy, I really like this girl. And all of a sudden you say something that why did I say that? That was so dumb. Why did I do that? And let's talk about what that actually is. So our belief, our understanding of how our biology works, how our nervous system works, is that you have a perception system, which is your nervous system. It's how you see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and that gut feeling. And for those of you that have heard our content before, you've heard this a million times, is that when those experiences come in through your nervous system, it's essentially energy. That energy over time starts to build up certain neural pathways. And just like anything, the more we do something, the more comfortable we are with it. And so it becomes a part of who we are. So now let's fast forward. We've been doing X, Y, and Z to get us to a certain physical, mental, and emotional state. And then we're moving forward. We're making changes. Your nervous system wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to be safe. So what happens? We start getting uncomfortable because things are a little bit different. And in the office, we talk about our subatomic set point. Essentially, to break that down, it is where our cells, our atoms, and who we are has been vibrating for a specific period of time. And when we start making changes, that set point tends to want to pull us back into what's comfortable. From that, we make certain decisions, choices, and actions that will limit the next step of our phase and next step of our growth. And that sounds so ridiculous and counterintuitive, but we've all experienced times where we were making progress, we were making changes, and before we know it, the winds of life picked up and we stopped doing the things that were really supporting us. And as Gay Hendricks talks about in The Big Leap, these are our upper limits. It's the glass ceiling that we're moving up in our life, and it's that thing that tends to bring us back down. So in his book, he talks about shattering that glass ceiling. And for us, what we've noticed is that there are actually some really powerful tools and ways to think about this to really support you in breaking those upper limits and going to that next phase of your life. And I want to talk about those. So the first thing you can do is be aware. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's not always pretty when we look at, man, I was doing all this stuff and I absolutely just fell off the wagon. I stopped eating what I was supposed to. I stopped meditating. I stopped getting adjusted in integration sessions. It's easy for us to not look at that stuff. But the number one thing we talk about is becoming aware. When you are aware of the patterns that are happening around you, but also within you, it gives you that first opportunity to start making changes. So number one, got to become aware of our patterns and the things that we're doing and own it. And number two, now that you have that awareness, the second step is kind of understandable, but most people just won't do it. Choose that you want something different for your life. As easy as that may sound to understand and to do, it's actually quite challenging for a lot of people because they're so stuck in their ways that to choose something different, yeah, people want something different, but they don't necessarily take the action steps. So number two is choose what you want in your life. Do you want to lose that weight? Do you want to overcome stress, anxiety, depression? Do you want a better relationship? Do you want a better job? You choose that and decide, and then from that choice and decision comes easier action steps, and with those action steps is going to create new neural pathways that over time, again, not over a day, not over a week, but over months and years of our life, we literally start changing our subatomic frequency and we begin shifting that set point to an entirely new place. And number 3 is trusting in the process and staying consistent with the process. It's really easy to make changes over a course of a couple days or a course of a couple weeks, but it's when we do little things every single day, getting out of our comfort zone, that pushes us up against that glass ceiling. The 1% shifts are really what make the biggest difference. There's a book out there called Atomic Habits by James Clear, another amazing book that we put in our top 10 of reading books. This book shows how little small changes, 1% changes over days, weeks, months, and years, the compound effect that actually has in our entire life. And what I've seen is that when we're trying to change our physiology and set point, it's actually the small changes over a long period of time versus the big changes in one short period of time that make the biggest differences. Because anything that goes up really fast has this tendency to come down really fast. But if we keep moving, keep pushing that limit, keep going through that glass ceiling just a little bit at a time, before we know it, months have gone by that we've been doing the work, we've been taking care of ourselves, we've been eating right, we've been focusing on connecting to this energy within us. Those are the things and those are the people that see the longest lasting changes and also the most profound changes. And so again, guys, I share all this with you guys because our upper limits are always there. And guess what? As you continue to grow, as you continue to move your life forward, new upper limits will actually come. I can't tell you how many glass ceilings I've run into over the last 5-6 years since this has come to my awareness. So stay consistent, guys. Keep believing in yourself. Keep taking action every day. And I promise you, you will see crazy and amazing changes in your life. So if you find value in this video, please subscribe to our YouTube page and share it with a friend that could use this as well.